Hello, I'm Finola Burke from RaaS, and welcome to our 2023 Outlook series. In this session, we're focusing on junior oil and gas explorer and producer, Empire Energy Group, ASX ticker EEG, and joining me is Managing Director Alex Underwood. Welcome, Alex, to our Outlook series.
Thanks, Finola. Great to see you.
Now, Empire Energy holds the largest tenement position within the highly prospective Greater Macarthur Basin, which includes the Beetaloo Sub-Basin in the Northern Territory. And this region is being touted as a strategic source of gas for East Coast Australia. And Empire has made significant progress on commercialising its opportunity in this region. And you've just announced some very impressive drill results. Alex, could you take us through what these results mean for Empire's drill program in the near term?
Yeah, certainly. Thanks, Finola. So, we as a company right now are very focused on, both proving up resource out of this, really world-scale prospective resource base we have of around 48 trillion cubic feet of gas, converting that to discovered resource and then ultimately into reserves. And what that involves is drilling, but also critically, it's horizontal drilling and fracture stimulation of these shales in which the gas is deposited in order to generate strong flow rates. We've been, I would argue, the most active player in the Beetaloo over the last couple of years. We've probably invested somewhere in the order of $50 million just in the last year with a very active work program. So earlier last year, we did the biggest frac job in Australian history on Carpentaria 2H. That was a 21-stage frac. We got very encouraging results, around 11 million cubic feet a day peak flow rate, an average over the first 30 days of around 2.5 million cubic feet a day. And then we've followed that up with another well, Carpentaria 3H. That well was twice the horizontal length inside the productive shale zone, twice as many frac stages. So that was a 40-stage frac. And we're just in the process of unloading the water from that well, and we'll very soon see gas flow rates. One thing that was really exciting about that well was that we were able to take the technological learnings from the last well and apply them to this well. So we anticipate there could be some productivity improvements, but also we came in significantly under budget. That well to drill and frac was nearly $6 million below our risk budget. So a great credit to our ops team, and it shows that we're getting up the curve. We've also drilled the Carpentaria 4V well immediately after drilling Carp 3H. Further out to the east in our block, which we anticipate will increase our discovered resource base. So we've had a very busy program, and now we're really eagerly awaiting the results.
And what does the timeline for commercialisation look like for Empire, and what level of confidence can investors have in this being achieved?
So we've got a two-phase commercialisation strategy. The reality is that the scale of the Beetaloo and its connections into LNG export infrastructure, both through Gladstone, as the coal seam methane fields of Queensland start maturing, but also Darwin, which is only a few hundred k's up the road, mean that this basin will fundamentally, in our view, drive very significant LNG export to a very gas-hungry Asia. But that's a few years away. That would require quite a significant amount of drilling and also upgrading of pipelines. So what we're focused on at the moment is getting a pilot project into production. And what we've explained to our shareholders is that there's an existing pipeline through our tenement. It can take about 25 terajoules a day. And given the pace at which we've been moving up the learning curve, we think we're in the box seat to be the first player to move into production utilising that pipeline, and very focused on getting gas into that pipeline by the end of next year. As part of that, we've signed some commercial agreements with a couple of key parties. So the pipeline is owned by an arm of the NT government called Power Water Corporation, and we've signed an MOU with them to both transport our gas through that pipe, but also for them to potentially buy our gas. So we've got willing customers, including some other parties, not just PwC. We've got access to market. We've got appraisal drilling developing nicely, and we're working on the front-end engineering and design process so that we can look to make a final investment decision later this year with a view to being in production in 24.
And we've seen the Australian government begin to impose gas price controls in a signal of a more interventionist policy. Will this have any impact on Empire's commercialisation plans?
We don't believe so. I mean, I certainly empathise with Australian consumers who are being hit badly by the high cost of energy. The reality is that it's not just the Ukraine war that is causing high energy prices. LNG prices, I remember vividly just before the Ukraine war, were already at very high prices. It's our view that price caps don't work. They've never worked before, and I can't see a reason why they would now, because they actually have the opposite effect of what's desired. They increase demand and reduce supply. However, we were quite pleased that the federal government excluded new gas fields from the price cap, which was a sensible thing to do. If you want to encourage new supply, then excluding new basins is a logical thing to do. And we'll be making submissions around what they're calling the reasonable pricing provision, which is for the determination of pricing beyond this year to the government, along the same lines that, it's our view that if you're opening up a new basin, a reasonable price is fundamentally determined by the price that a buyer and a seller are willing to transact at, rather than I guess what might be determined as more of a price-taking purchaser of gas from existing sources of gas. So we'll be making submissions to that effect. I would say that, we have been running economics at this relatively early stage on our project, and even if we were subject to a cap of the nature that's been discussed, we anticipate that our project should still remain quite profitable.
Well, Alex, thank you for joining me today to discuss the 2023 outlook for Empire Energy Group. I'm looking forward to catching up with you through the course of the year to see your progress.
Thank you very much, Finola. Great to talk.